Of all the places I expected would find this Minsk, crawling from the broken jaws of a mimic wasn't high on my list. What's life without a few surprises, eh?
I do not wish to speak of the wizard. I could not have said it better myself. He came to me one night with a little book of mischief, full of words and their meanings. Posterior, he says. Can you say posterior? Pwah, I refused. Minsk does not need to know the language of wizards. It is an inferior word, far too long to use in a battle cry, which is where a butt belongs. Gale would do better to educate himself in the ways of sword and steel than to throw these pointy words at Minsk. Ah, yes. Gale also owns a cat. A cat with wings. That is most unnerving for poor Boo. What? That is 1,000 times more interesting than anything that has ever been written in a book. Gale! My good friend! Where are you? Minsk and Boo would like to hear about the exploding! She hangs split between her two sides, like a fifth coin that Boo once ate while it was still in the air. But, like Boo, after a great struggle within, I think 섀도하트 has finally brought that coin to Earth. She is a Sharin no more, and free of her wretched and evil fellows. My old friend Keldorn told me that the righteous must end their rage when the battle is done. But when Minsk thinks of those villains tormenting our gentle moon witch, he wants to kick them in the cloisters. Yes, burn, says you, and burn, says Boo, so Minsk will burn! We shall set fire to the night itself! Or perhaps the night is too large to burn. I do not know. But I do know that I am angry. Indeed, a berserker after my own heart. Though hers is made of hellish heat, and metal, and some manner of coin-operated device. That it does. And all of the questions that Minsk has to ask are of the pointed and painful kind. But, for all his betrayings of Karilak, Gortash never for a moment bested her. Karilak remains Karilak. Even if all her parts were traded for tin and scrap, Minsk thinks this would still be so. And soon, Karilak will still be Karilak. But Karilak will also be cured. And if she dies, what of it, says Boo? The Hells themselves could not hold the first time, and now she knows their way back. You come to speak of the last time Minsk stood watch? The snoring, it was Boo. There is more than a little to know, I think. I am huge. You hear that, Boo? Your keen skills of observation have not gone unnoticed. Our friend wishes to consult your wisdom. So small is Boo that he is often mistaken for a pinecone, and many secrets are spoken in his hearing. He will tell what he knows. But Minsk, of course, will translate. Who is Halsen? Somehow, such a person as you describe has entirely escaped Minsk's notice. How strange. Oh, the tiny, puny elf with leaves in his hair and dirt under his fingernails. His name is Halitosin. How very unfortunate. He is so small that Minsk barely notices his existence. No, Boo! The druid did not beat Minsk at the arm wrestling. It was not a fair match, and he turned into an owlbear midway through, and there was grease on the tree stump. Jaheira, Boo is trying his best to explain, but I still do not understand your anger.
Do not hide behind your hamster, Ranger. You do not understand because you do not listen. We were the first to discover the cult. And if you had only waited, we might have marshaled our numbers and...
Good does not wait for evil to button up its breeches. When it offers buttocks for the smacking, Minsk and Boo greet cheek with hand.
This mess falls on our heads, Minsk. The city under siege, its people poisoned by the cult. It all might have been avoided if you had just put your feelings aside and listened. My own foolishness does not absolve Minsk of his. You meant well, Minsk. But you exposed the city to harm. You helped the cult spread. And worse, perhaps than any of this, you forced me to leave you behind.
But this is where Minsk falls short of the understanding, Jaheira. What else is a berserker for, if not to charge into danger ahead of his Waclaren?
The Wicklaren, wise women of Rashomon, each bonded to a berserker bodyguard for life. There is no higher title, nor deeper bond in all of Rashomon custom.
Wicklaren? Minsk, I am not your witch. You are not my bodyguard. This is not some high lodge of your homeland.
Boo agrees you're a queer kind of witch. But this city is a queer place. And Minsk, you may have noticed, is sometimes strange himself. The titles matter not. Only this. When Minsk does as Minsk does, and charges in to make a mess, Jaheira does as Jaheira does, and finds a way to save us all anyway.
Oh, I fight alongside fools.
You hear that, Boo? We fight alongside a Waclaren again.
I am your friend, Ranger. I am not your witch. There will be no ointments or healing balms.
Not even for Boo?